Welcome to the deep dive.
Imagine your social media almost writing itself, really.
Yeah.
No more spending hours, crafting posts, finding images.
hmm
Today we're jumping into this guide. It's surprisingly simple, but it promises to help you build a real content machine pretty fast.
Yeah, we're here today to unpack a beginner's guide focused on AI automation. Specifically, how it will liberate you from that manual grind of social media content.
Right.
Our mission, like always, is to dig into these sources, pull out the core ideas, and show you how even, let's say, basic AI can give you immediate, pretty significant results.
You might be surprised.
You might.
We've got a cool journey plan. We'll kick off with a reality check about AI complexity, maybe cut through some hype.
Okay.
Then we'll walk through this idea of an automation food chain,
Mhm.
how these systems kind of evolve in intelligence. Yeah, and you'll get the universal formula, the structure behind basically every successful AI workflow. And then the main event. We'll break down step by step how to actually build your own social media content factory using NNA and Google Sheets.
Okay, so the practical build.
Exactly. And then we'll wrap up, talk about what you've actually built and, what could come next.
So the internet, it's always buzzing about AI agents, right?
Yeah.
They sound like the future, the ultimate productivity hack.
They really do. And they are impressive, no doubt. But this guide, it makes such a critical point.
Which is?
Well, that a lot of people are trying to build these complex rocket ships before they've even learned to ride a bicycle.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's a common trap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jumping straight to those really advanced agents without getting the fundamentals of AI automation first.
Exactly. The guide says it's like trying to fly before you can walk. And honestly, a simple, well-built AI automation, it can give you a huge return, right away. You really don't need to overcomplicate things to get these massive benefits now.
And yet, people still chase the shiny object, the complex agents. Why do you think that is? What's the draw to build the rocket before mastering the bike?
Well, it's probably the allure, the
Yeah.
cutting edge, that promise of this ultimate autonomous system.
Right.
But yeah, that often means skipping the powerful foundational stuff. The guide really hits home that the biggest wins, they often come from mastering the basics first.
Okay, so to help frame this, the guide talks about an automation food chain, an evolutionary ladder of intelligence. That sounds like a useful model.
Yeah, it really is. It breaks it down nicely into 4 levels. Level 1, that's just manual workflow. You doing everything by hand. The digital caveman stage, as they call it.
Yeah.
Then level 2 is basic automation. So workflows, but without AI. Think like a simple Zapier connection, just moving data around.
Got it.
Our focus today, the real sweet spot, is level 3, AI automation. So you take those automated workflows and you enhance them with AI intelligence.
Okay, that's where the magic happens.
That's where it happens. And then level 4 is the advanced AI agents, highly adaptive, multi-step decision-making, the rocket ships.
Right, so we're focusing on level 3 today because it offers the most bang for your buck, incredible power, without getting buried in complexity.
Exactly. It makes these advanced capabilities feel accessible.
Okay, so when you say incredible power without massive complexity, what does that actually look like? How does it feel less complex than level 4, but still deliver so much?
Well, it means you're not wrestling with, say, intricate AI decision trees or long-term memory management. You're usually just adding an intelligent step into an existing flow.
Okay.
Like generate this text or create this image based on this input. It's direct, it's focused intelligence right where you need it without all the overhead of building a fully autonomous thing. And what's really cool is that basically every effective AI automation, it follows this universal 4-part structure, like a factory assembly line. Super efficient.
Okay, repeatable process. I like that. So what are the parts?
First up, number 1 is the trigger. That's your on switch.
Right.
The event that kicks the whole thing off. Could be manual, could be scheduled. Maybe something happening in another app, like a new form gets submitted.
Simple enough. What's next?
Number 2, the input nodes. Think of this as the prep station.
Okay.
This is where you gather your raw materials, pull out the important info, format it, clean up any messy inputs before they hit the AI. Garbage in, garbage out. Right.
Crucial step.
Then
Then the core. Number 3. The AI model nodes. This is the magic machine, where the AI does the heavy lifting, processing, analyzing, generating text, images, whatever intelligent work you need.
And finally.
Number 4, the output nodes. Your shipping department
Got it.
takes the AI's finished product and sends it where it needs to go, saving a file, posting to social media, updating a spreadsheet.
Makes sense. Trigger input, AI output.
Yep. And underpinning all that, the golden rule of building, which is always start by designing your process on a whiteboard first.
The architect before you build idea?
Yeah.
Exactly. It saves so much time and frustration later. It really separates the pros. It forces you to see the whole flow, catch logical gaps before you write a single line of code or, configure a single node.
Yeah, it's like building a model before pouring concrete, like you said.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. So what kind of hidden issues does that whiteboard stage usually bring to light that you might otherwise miss?
Often it's about data flow. Like, where does this piece of information actually come from? And how does it need to look when it gets there? You start asking, okay, what if the input data isn't perfect? Or how do we handle errors? Much easier to figure that out with a sketch than with a broken workflow spitting out errors. So this deep dive today, it gives you a precise blueprint, really, for building a complete social content system.
Complete meaning?
Meaning it automatically generates the post text, creates relevant images, and then organizes everything neatly into a Google Doc. It's a potential game changer if you're creating content regularly.
And the whole thing kicks off just by adding a topic idea to a Google Sheet.
That's it. One simple action. And the result is this personal content factory working away for you in the background, turning those raw ideas into content that's ready for you to review.
It's like having a creative assistant on tap 24/7.
Pretty much.
Thinking about it, what's maybe the most immediate or surprising benefit someone might feel once this machine is up and running?
I think it's the sheer volume of high-quality first drafts it can produce. Suddenly, that blank page isn't staring back at you.
Right.
Content ideation stops being this bottleneck and becomes more like turning on a faucet. You get this stream of possibilities to work with. Okay, step 0, setting up the workshop. You need your workbench, right?
The foundation.
And the guide points us to N8N. That's Naaeen. It's an open source platform for automating workflows. Basically connects different apps and services together using these visual nodes. It's pretty powerful, but also user-friendly. You don't necessarily need to code.
Okay, N8N. And the guide suggests the cloud version for easy setup.
Yeah, gets you started quickly. And a really critical first step, seriously, don't skip this, is do a version check in your admin panel.
Why is that?
Make sure you're on the latest stable version. You want all the features, the security updates, just good practice.
Got it. And the command center is a Google Sheet.
Yep, just one simple Google Sheet. You'll need columns for things like target publish date, planned topic, status. That one's key for the automation logic. Draft link, which the workflow will fill in later, and maybe a notes column.
Okay.
And here's a smart tip for any new automation build. Start with just one test entry in that sheet, one row.
Just one, to test everything end to end.
Exactly. Test every single step with that one entry first. It minimizes headings later, builds trust in the system.
Trust is good.
Yeah.
So why is that single entry test so crucial before you try to generate hundreds of posts?
It's your baseline, your sanity check. You isolate all the variables, make sure every node, every connection works perfectly in a controlled way. Then you scale. If you start with 100 and something breaks, it's way harder to figure out where the problem is. All right, step 1, the motion detector. This is how your factory knows you've added a new idea.
Okay, the trigger we talked about.
Exactly. You set up a Google Sheets trigger node in N8N. You want it to react fast, so maybe set it to check for new rows every minute or so. Pull time, 1 minute.
So it's constantly watching that sheet.
Yep. Instant feedback when you add an idea. And a crucial best practice here, seriously, do this every time. After you configure any new node, click Test Execute.
Test early, test often.
Always. Catches problems immediately, saves you debugging nightmares later. It's fundamental.
Makes sense.
Okay, next you add an IF node. Think of it as your quality control scanner.
What's it scanning for?
It checks that status column in your Google Sheet. Its job is to prevent wasting expensive API calls. Those are the requests you send to AI services, like asking ChatGPT to write something. And they usually cost a little bit of money each time.
Okay, so the IF node saves money.
Potentially, yeah. It only lets the workflow continue if the status field for that row is empty. Meaning, we haven't processed this idea yet. If it already says complete, it just stops right there. No redundant work.
Smart.
And here's another great tip, a real money-saving hack from the guide. Enable the pin data feature when you're testing.
Pin data, what does that do?
When you test a node, like that expensive AI call, pinning the data saves its output. So if you need to test something later in the workflow, you don't have to run that expensive AI call again. It just uses the saved pinned data.
Oh, wow.
I've definitely learned this one the hard way myself. Still forget sometimes. And yeah, the bill reminds me it's like a different kind of drift. My attention drifting away from the best practices.
Huh? Been there. So how exactly does pinning data translate into actual cost savings during development?
Well, imagine your AI call costs, say, 5 cents every time it runs.
Mm.
If you're tweaking the formatting node right after it 10 times without pinning, that's 50 cents. With pinning, it's just the initial 5 cents.
Right.
You're essentially caching the result you need for testing the downstream steps, which keeps those AI costs way down while you build. Okay, step 2, the AI brain. This is where we bring in your automated creative team.
A copywriter and an art director, all automated.
Pretty much. First, an OpenAI ChatGPT node for the text. Now, strategically, the guide suggests using a model like GPT-5 Mini.
Why that one specifically?
It's usually very cost-effective, but still really powerful for this kind of task. Can be like 10 times cheaper than the biggest models, makes generating lots of posts affordable.
Good tip. Scalability matters.
Definitely. Now, the prompting strategy is key here. It's got 2 parts. There's the simple dynamic user message, something like, write a LinkedIn post about topic. It pulls the topic right from your sheet data.
Okay, straightforward.
But the real magic, the secret sauce, is the system message.
System message.
Yeah, this is where you define your brand's permanent voice, the tone, maybe a specific structure or template you always want your post to follow. It acts like a style guide built right into the AI.
Ah, so that ensures consistency across all the generated posts.
Exactly. Every single time. It's how you embed your brand's unique identity.
Very cool. Okay, so that's the text. What about images?
Right, second ChatGPT node, this time configured for image generation. The guide suggests using a powerful model like GPT Image 1. So just to recap the jargon, GPT-5 Mini is that smaller, efficient language model for text, and GPT Image 1 is the AI model for creating the pictures.
Got it.
And for images, there's this smart prompting technique. It's kind of nuanced, a 2-step prompt.
How does that work?
First, you ask the AI to translate the idea of the post into a tangible, photorealistic scene description. Importantly, you tell it to avoid things like robots or fantasy, unless that's your brand, right? Keep it grounded.
Okay, describe the scene first.
Yeah. Then, in the second part of the prompt, you ask it to actually create that image, maybe specifying things like natural lighting. This usually gets you much more relevant, context-aware visuals than just asking for an image about topic X.
That's clever. More targeted results.
Totally. Whoa! Just imagine scaling that system message, that voice control, across hundreds of posts. Every single one, perfectly on brand, automatically.
That system message really does sound like the core of it. Beyond just keeping the brand voice right, what makes it so powerful for content creation?
Well, it sets the guardrails for the AI's creativity, doesn't it? It stops the AI from just going off in random directions. It's like having a permanent internal style guide that ensures every single output fits your predefined standards without needing a human to check every single one at that stage. All right, step 3, the digital librarian. Your AI team did the creative work. Now it's about organization and cleanup.
Okay, filing everything away properly.
Exactly. First, the image that the AI generated gets uploaded to a specific Google Drive folder you set up, and smartly, the workflow names the file using the publish date from your spreadsheet. Makes sorting super easy later.
Nice and tidy.
Then, a new Google Doc gets created. It's also named using the publish date and the topic. This doc acts as the kind of master file for that piece of content.
What goes in the Google Doc?
The generated post text, and usually a direct link to the image you just uploaded to Google Drive. So everything related to that one post is linked together in one place.
A central hub for each post. I like it.
Yeah. And then, crucial step, closing the loop.
Closing the loop.
Means going back to your original Google Sheet. The workflow finds the right row, changes the status column to complete, and then it pastes the link to that new Google Doc into the draft link column.
Ah, so the sheet becomes a dashboard showing what's done and where to find it.
Precisely. A single source of truth. Now, one more thing here, a pro tip for reliability, especially if you start processing lots of ideas at once.
Yeah.
Add a wait node, maybe for 1 minute.
A wait node. Why?
Put it between the text generation step and the image generation step. It just adds a little pause.
Okay. Why the pause?
It prevents you from hammering the OpenAI API with too many requests too quickly. If you send like 10 requests all at the exact same second, sometimes the API gets overwhelmed and might reject some, causing your workflow to fail. I learned that one the hard way too. Try to rush a batch job, skip the wait, and boom, half the workflows failed with rate limit errors. A small pause makes a big difference for reliability.
That's a great practical insight. So why is that pacing rule, that little wait, considered a pro-level tip for keeping things reliable.
Because most APIs, not just OpenAI's, have rate limits, a maximum number of requests they'll accept in a certain time period. Exceeding those limits, that leads to errors, failed runs, frustration. A little bit of patience, that wait node, ensures you stay within the limits, especially when you scale up. It makes the whole system more robust. Okay, step 4, going live. Your factory's built. Time for the final checks before you flip the switch.
The pre-flight checklist. What's involved?
First, and this is critical, unpin all test data. Remember that pin data we used for testing?
Yeah, the money saver.
Right. You got to unpin it now so the workflow uses the new real data coming from your Google Sheet trigger, not the old save stuff.
Makes sense. Use live ammo now.
Exactly. Then activate automation. In N8N, there's usually a toggle switch. Flip it from inactive to active.
Okay, turn it on.
Then go to your Google Sheet and add a new entry, a fresh topic idea.
A first real run.
Yep. And finally, monitor execution. Watch the executions view in N8N. You should see your workflow spring to life.
And what does success look like at this point?
You'll see that new row you added in Google Sheets trigger the workflow. In the sheet itself, the status should update pretty quickly to complete, and a link should appear in the draft link column. Click that link. And you should see a Google Doc with generated text that follows the voice and structure you defined in your system message, plus a link to a relevant image. That's success. And for a really professional touch, something great for teams, the guide suggests adding a Gmail node at the very end.
An email notification.
Yeah, like a mission control alert. You configure it to automatically send an email, maybe to you, maybe to your team, whenever a new draft is ready. Include the topic and the link to the Google Doc.
So everyone knows when content is ready for review without having to constantly check the spreadsheet.
Exactly. Keeps everyone in the loop automatically.
That does sound useful, especially for coordinating reviews. How exactly do those email alerts simplify things and maybe reduce friction on a team?
They totally centralize the communication. Instead of people asking, is the draft for X ready yet, or constantly refreshing the sheet, the system proactively tells the relevant people, hey, this is done, here's the link. It streamlines that whole handoff process beautifully. #tag midroll sponsor read. Okay, let's debrief. What you've actually built here, if you follow these steps, it's a complete production-ready AI system.
Production-ready, that sounds serious.
Well, it's capable of automatic content ideation, triggering the workflow, AI-powered post-creation, using that consistent brand voice from the system message, relevant visual content generation, organized file management in Google Drive, automated status tracking back in your Google Sheet, and even those proactive email notifications. It's a pretty sophisticated little factory.
That is quite a lot from one workflow. Now, an important disclaimer is probably needed here, right?
Absolutely. This system generates high-quality first drafts. Let's be clear on that.
Not final, polished, ready-to-publish content.
Exactly. The AI is an amazing assistant. It's not your replacement. Your human insights, your final review, maybe some light editing, that's still crucial before anything goes public.
Right.
It's a tool to augment you, not replace you.
That's a critical distinction. So given it produces these first drafts, what do you think is the biggest misconception people might have about what a system like this provides?
I think the biggest one is that it's a set it and forget it magic button that spits out perfect, publishable content every time. It drastically cuts down the initial effort, the blank page problem. Yeah. But it still needs that human touch for nuance, for ethical checks, for making sure it aligns perfectly with current strategy or events. That final polish is key.
Okay, absolutely. So what about leveling up? What are the next steps if someone builds this and wants to make it even better?
Great question. The guide suggests a level up menu. For immediate improvements, you could add better error handling, make it more robust if something unexpected happens.
Like if an API is down.
Yeah, exactly. You could also integrate web research, use tools like, say, Tavily or Perplexity to have the AI research trending topics before writing the post. Keep it super current.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And you could add nodes to automatically post the approved draft to a social media scheduler like Buffer or Hootsuite.
Taking it right to the finish line.
Yep. And for more advanced stuff, maybe implement sentiment analysis to make sure the tone matches exactly what you want for that specific topic. Or even A/B test different post formats by tweaking the system prompts and seeing what performs better.
Lots of possibilities.
For sure. And the bigger picture here, this is important, you haven't just automated social media posts, you've learned the fundamental building blocks of pretty much all AI automation.
The trigger, Input AI, output structure.
Exactly. That universal skill set. You can reconfigure it for so many other things. Customer support, ticket processing, lead qualification from website forms, data analysis and summarization. It's incredibly versatile.
So recapping the big ideas then, we've seen how you can move from that manual, often tedious process of content creation to a much more automated intelligence system.
Yeah, and the key is that structured approach. Trigger, input, AI model, output. Focusing on that lets you build some really powerful tools without getting lost in complexity.
And remember that golden rule. Start simple. Test thoroughly at each step. Scale up gradually.
Mm-hmm. The goal isn't just to build something complex, it's to build something that consistently delivers real value, saves you time, and frees you up for the higher level strategic thinking, the really creative parts of your job.
It's not just about social media. It feels like acquiring a foundational skill, maybe even a superpower, for this increasingly AI-powered economy.
I think that's exactly right. It's a fundamental literacy for the future of work.
So if you've been listening along, maybe feeling that content creation pain point, well, now's the time. Stop just reading or listening and maybe start building.
Yeah, take that first step. Your future, more productive self will definitely thank you for it.
And maybe something to think about as we wrap up. What other manual, repetitive tasks are lurking in your work? What could you automate to free up your own creative energy and focus on what really matters?
Good question to mull over.
Indeed. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks, everyone. OT Row Music.